Okay, so so as an introduction, obviously, logging into the system, everybody knows how to do that, I assume. So on the opening screen, I've got a project sitting here, and I'm acting as Bob, the awesome tester. And I have a project here called Worldwide Domination that I would like to engage in. What we're going to show today is the idea of how we would like to interact as a team with images, and the reason for this module that we're going to look at is really came from the frustration that we had and our clients had with not being able to communicate very easily back and forward about image iterations, image versioning, and image approval. There's workflows like loading documents in and out, PDFs. We felt like there's too many clicks, too many places to go. The workflow wasn't smooth enough, and we kept thinking it doesn't really make sense to be so busy and actually not really have a good handle on what the workflow is for images. A lot of people are asking for, can we just have a Lightbox module, which there is, and I know appsmagnet is providing some of that functionality, but that's not really necessarily solving the workflow need that people have in working with each other to start with an image and then let it evolve until somebody actually approves it or is going to use it somewhere else. A good example would be some of our clients do web design types of things where they have to propose screenshots and be able to talk about it. Another one is that we have clients who do a lot of creative artwork that has to eventually go to production, but in the early stages they want to just be able to collaborate and look at those types of images so that they can approve them as well. So I'm going to look at this project real quick that I have here. We've decided to kind of organize our tabs here on the top a certain way, and I'll show you in another project where we did it differently. Obviously, everybody has the opportunity to do this any way they see fit. In this case, I put it right up front. So going into notations gives us the possibility of starting a new notation. The idea of a notation really is, again, to collaborate on images. Now, we do have PDF integration capabilities, which would mean that you could do documents and text. That's really not the primary intent of it. The real intent is really more for graphics people to be able to have either single or multi-page PDFs that have images that may need to either go to production or to websites or things like that. And then JPEGs, obviously, and PNGs and things like that. So then if we would start a new notation, we get the familiar screen in front of us with you can enter the name, you can enter description and things like that, some categories, milestones, and normal things. And then we gave, depending on the plugins that somebody has installed, the ability to just attach files, to attach from a URL or attach from the cloud. Grabbing something from a cloud account, you could pull it right in and show it on the notation. We've also allowed it to work very similar to task assignments, where on the one hand you could assign people, and on the other hand, here on the right-hand side, way on the right, you will see the little envelopes that indicate who actually can subscribe as well, which can also be clicked independently if needed. I'm not going to do this because it would take too much time. I'll show you. I'll go to another setup to kind of show you what the result is of creating a new notation. Sorry. So here's one that we have created in one of our other demo systems, and we've actually uploaded a number of PDFs. When you do the upload and the files come in, then they would just load here and show in sort of a ribbon type of view on the top. What now a user can do that accesses it or gets notified, they can click on any of these images to review them. Now there's two scenarios. The one scenario is that users will put a series of images here, like I did, that all belong to one campaign, and say, hey, give me some feedback, let us approve it, and then go from there. The other possibility of workflow here is that you say, no, I'm going to just post one image, And as soon as somebody says, I want a change to it, to upload the same image again with its changes, and it will show up in sequence and build where the last image in the series will then become your approved image. Either scenario we thought would be helpful. Some people work one way, some work the other. In a case like this, you may have a whole number of, the way I'm showing it, you may have a whole number of images sitting here that all are growing toward a conclusion. And so it's a choice that your business needs will dictate. As you see here, then clicking on one of these images, let's say I picked the one here, it shows me underneath it, it kind of expands the title to see what it is. It shows underneath that somebody already made some marks and 3 notes in the image. So I'm going to click on that because I would like to contribute to it myself. I can see who actually did it. This was approved actually by the e-commerce creative team. Anybody dropping in something here, I can approve something myself here. It automatically will then stamp it with my name, and I can leave a note here to indicate any other things that I think are important to it. As well as seeing here that the notes are going to show in a list of notes. Let's say you have a large image and lots of notes on it. You could then click on any of these notes and it will open them up where they are on the screen and center the screen to it. That way, we figured it makes it much easier for people to find what it is actually they need to focus on. That's kind of the long and the short of how it interactively works. There's some other tools here. There's a note tool, like I said. There's always the approve tool. They work kind of the same. Dropping in circles, changing colors, all these things are possible. You can do all sorts of cool stuff. But in the end of the day, all you're really looking for, in our mind, would be that you want to make sure that somebody understands what it is that either needs to be changed or that it's approved for production. Having said that, this screen view we thought was not big enough in many cases, so we created an expansion capability to make it full screen, full browser screen. So this way, if it was needed, you could actually expand it as big as you want, expand your browser, make it full screen, and get as much of the real estate for you as needed to do your work, and go back here to do some more work in the system. The other feature that we thought was important for the workflow was that it may be required that a task needs to be created. We actually have a separate module that we sell that will allow you to launch a task. Let's say you would specifically want some other department to approve something or go look at it that has nothing to do currently, or a specific person that doesn't necessarily need to be part of this discussion, but you still want them to be assigned, or they are. You can do that. You create the task. This will add it as a normal task in the task area, and it will create a link that can be linked back and forward to see where you came from and where you're going. The link record is here on the right-hand side of the window, showing that this is the title of the current notation, and this will stay there, and in the actual task you will be able to link back to the notation when you're looking at the task. Last but not least, we have recently added sharing to, this was our latest update. We can share notations with people on the outside entirely. Go to the public page, just like any other sharing object in the system. These things will show up. They can also be expanded on the public page, with the only limitation that obviously when you're sharing on the outside, we don't know we don't know who logged in because it's a public link. So we won't know when somebody makes a mark on it exactly who did it, except that it was on the outside done. So that's something that we can only drop in there that a contributor on the outside made that contribution. That's the long and the short of the module.